It's openly being admitted. They're just kind of creeping out in plain view, hoping nobody notices.
Yes, and I took it to an extra level. I started taking samples and started sampling the water, because I've done that in my career. Over time, I always had to sample all the water that we used. But I actually found the exact items that are being discussed. So anybody who has any doubt about this going on, there is no doubt. It is a fact. There are no myths. This is no theory. There are no theories anymore. And I just want to make sure that I stress, I have been, over time, focusing on communicating to people, becoming a blogger. I never thought I would be doing this in my life.
Oh, what's your blog? Tell us about it.
No, I'm basically an objective blogger. I don't blog. I don't have one. What I do is I go out and I basically make factual
No, I understand.
comments.
You give the data to folks. Well, listen. We've actually got our people meeting with Fish and Wildlife officials that are talking about chemtrails.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Well, We Are Change Los Angeles, New York, and other We Are Change groups are just knocking it out of the park again with 9/11 Truth. The last 2 weeks, on and off, they have been at the Capitol giving big, thick stacks of documents, peer-reviewed journals of thermite and thermate explosions in the buildings to members of the House and Senate. They've also been spending time in the office buildings. I mean, anybody can go in, get passes, get in to see them. And you see Jay Rockefeller, the great-grandson of the founder of the whole criminal enterprise, big eugenicist himself, admitting that their offices are besieged by 30, 40, plus people talking about the Bilderberg Group, and that everywhere he goes, that him and Schumer are being asked about the New World Order. You see, they can try to intimidate us and say we're all under surveillance and there's a police state and they're going to get us all. But if we all, that is larger numbers of us, start standing up and saying no and getting involved, they can't get everybody. I mean, just 6 months ago, you'd have a couple members of Congress getting in Bernanke's face. Now they're all doing it, Republican and Democrat. I want to talk more about this later in the show. It's just we're reaching the tipping point. We can beat these people. The technocracy can fall. The nightmare can end if we just stop believing the government-controlled churches that say it's all a foregone conclusion, it's the end of the world, give in, the devil's going to rule. It's a giant predictive programming psyop. And like Nineveh, we can get a reprieve. But if we start believing evil's here, and if we start capitulating to it and saying it's unstoppable, it will manifest. And I'm not getting into a pro-Christian, anti-Christian debate. I myself am a Christian, raised a Christian, but this is a secular news program. And whether you're an atheist or an agnostic or a Christian or a Hindu or a Muslim or a Jew or a Inuit Indian or a Hopi Indian, you shouldn't like the tyranny that's unfolding. It isn't good any way you slice it or dice it. And I'm just trying to have this wider debate and say, man, listen, the Pentagon says they're building a giant control grid, and it's run by eugenicists, and once the New World Order is in place, they're going to forcibly sterilize us and put drugs in the water and take all our kids and raise them in giant dormitories. And the more internal documents say they're going to release bioweapons and go ahead and just kill us. Forget sterilizing us. We better do something about this. And the evidence is they are poisoning the water and the food. And here's the evidence. I mean, this is a Mayday situation. And the only normal response is going down to the Senate office building and waiting for Rockefeller to come slinking by and to get in his face peaceably and to bring up real issues to this bastard. And boy, he looks at Luke and he says, you got a lot of balls, kid. You ought to be in Congress. See, he gets the mafia respect because Luke's talking about his family creating eugenics and creating Hitler, which is mainline Encyclopedia Britannica. I mean, it's not debatable. These people are hell force. And Luke's gone to Rockefeller's house and confronted him. David, the head of the whole thing, probably one of the most powerful people. He's guaranteed in the top 5. Maybe the most powerful person on the planet. And Luke gets death threats. His family gets death threats. On video, police come up and say, we're going to plant bombs on you. That's in Truth Rising. And we need more of you to do this. Believe me, that's all I want to be doing, but I'm tied down, you know, doing the radio show, the films, trying to just go through all this great material. I've kind of graduated on to general level here. Believe me, I don't like being a general. I wish I was in the field, and I am in the field some. When we are in the field, I have the Army watching me. Those documents have been declassified, listing me as a terrorist. I mean, this is the real deal, ladies and gentlemen. So that's coming up. I'm going to play that video and analyze it. It's got a bunch of other news. By the way, we did find the article about upcoming military robot could feed on dead bodies. We're going to do a blurb about the memory hole in media, but this is an example, and these flesh-eating robots. That's coming up. I'm Alex Jones. This is the GCN Radio Network.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
All right, Pastor Ted Pike in about 25 minutes from now. Latest on the attacks on free speech, the hate bills, cyberbullying, all of it. Then we've got Rand Paul joining us in the third hour, and Robert Wilcox for about 30 minutes in the fourth, continuing with open phones throughout the broadcast today. Coming up, I'm going to do a big news blitz, some financial news, and the censorship of the flesh-eating robot story that was in AP, Reuters, Fox News. It changed everywhere in a few days, saying, hey, the company wants you to know they're vegetarian robots. But originally, the story was saying that it could eat flesh or anything else for that matter. So we'll go over the story. The robot's called the Eater. But this is a good way to get people's attention about why the elite want to go to a robot force. And this is not the 1950s. This isn't science fiction, folks. It's 2009. You know, it was science fiction 100 years ago to imagine big jet airplanes flying above you at 30,000 feet. We're living in just an age of wonderment, but so much of it's being used for tyranny. So that's coming up. Let's just blitz through your calls right now. Let's talk to Brian in Florida. Brian, you're on the air.
Yes, Alex.
Hi.
I just want to give you some good news. Just last week, I was appointed to the library board district, the district library board. And I have some plans. I want to make sure there's a screening room in there. I want to perhaps have, like, once a week there play a film from the library and try to get in some books and DVDs
and actually make the library become a center of the community. Yeah, you could start having one night a week a viewing event. Even if they don't let you, you can do it as a private citizen. And then others will get the idea, and then suddenly you'll have citizens together talking every night instead of watching the glowing mind control tube.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, you and so many others in this movement told us to, take part, get in public office, and so forth, and I have done just that. And for anyone who's interested, there's one more opening on the board at the, go before Titusville, Florida City Council, go down to City Hall, get an application, and there's also I think there might be one or two more boards have openings.
Yeah, so, the general way to talk about this is I've noticed when I have hosts fill in who are from here locally, they kind of talk about local stuff all day. The way to do it is to say, I got on my board here locally, you should get on your board in your city. And there are these openings everywhere, and the globalists only need a few of their people over each city, and then they get all their minions in the positions of power over every sector. And a lot of times, no matter what area of government you get into, you're going to find that government's stealing money. And so you can also get into government and find them stealing, blow the whistle, and then start a chain reaction, bringing down the local government. Let me tell you, we need good people in dog catcher. We need good people in the water board, the school board, the library board, the park board. The sustainability UN people have unlimited funds under Agenda 21. This is the big 1992 UN agreement of how to globalize every county and city under munalization. And that's how you have standardized zoning all over the world, from Kenya, Africa to Austin, Texas, from Albuquerque, New Mexico to New York City, from Berlin, Germany to Tokyo, Japan. It's global standardization, and it's all being done. I appreciate your call. Keep it up, Brian. Let's talk to Johnny in Florida. Another call from Florida. Go ahead, Johnny.
Hey, what's going on? I just wanted to real quickly say thank you very much, Alex. Since watching the Obama deception, my life has been turned completely upside down. Everything I once thought I believed about our government is proven to be untrue, and it's not just from watching the videos, it's from doing the research after watching the videos and learning about what really is going on out there. But the real reason for my call is because Johnny's not my real name, but I do work for Bright House Networks in Florida. And when I saw the story on InfoWars today, it really stuck out at me